Thank you. Thank you, Secretary Fabula, for your introduction. Other cabinet members, Congresswoman Angping, other public officials, Ambassador Liu, our other friends from China, Dr. Alfonso Wee, and the other leaders of the Filipino-Chinese community, other guests, ladies and gentlemen, happy Independence Day and happy Filipino-Chinese Friendship Day. How nice to hear from Ambassador Liu the story of my early interest in Filipino-Chinese friendship, which goes back to my involvement in the then Association for Philippines-China Understanding. We worked then in the 1970s for closer Philippine-Chinese relations and for diplomatic relations. And we are very happy that now we are friends and diplomatic partners with the People's Republic of China. I also thank the ambassador for recalling to us what I did in my first year as president, issuing Proclamation number 148 to celebrate June 9th of every year as Filipino-Chinese Friendship Day. And why not? After all, the friendship and affinity between our two peoples is centuries old, maybe thousands of years old. Because it is said that during the Ice Age, the Philippine archipelago was contiguous to the Asian mainland. So people from China migrated to the Philippines and other parts of Southeast Asia through land bridges and permanently settled in some parts of the Philippines. That continued through the centuries, and we know from the few centuries ago how trade flourished between our two countries, and therefore how Chinese merchants not only traded with the Philippines but began to live in the Philippines. And that is why we have such a thriving Filipino-Chinese community today. Among the Chinese who settled in the Philippines, many of you also know, was my husband's ancestor, Son Tua. He was a merchant from China who became successful and who helped finance the defense of the Philippines against the British forces and therefore earned for himself a Spanish nobility title. So I am glad that my children are great-great-grandchildren of a gallant Filipino-Chinese merchant. Many other notable Filipinos of Chinese ancestry were also known freedom fighters, the most prominent being our national hero, Jose Rizal, whose greatness is remembered with a park in his name in his ancestral city of Xinjiang in Fujian province. And when I visited China on my second state visit, different one. In my visit to Fujian, many of you in the Filipino-Chinese community were there, and we all visited and paid homage together to the shrine of Dr. Jose Rizal. Practically every Filipino has a Chinese ancestor. Although not everyone might be able to trace his Chinese great-great-great-grandfather the way my children can do. But even if most Filipinos cannot name their Chinese ancestors, we are all thankful for the indelible contribution that Chinese have made to Philippine economic and cultural life. Filipinos have absorbed a significant amount of Chinese culture and traditions and melded them with our own. From our cuisine, our pancit, our lumpia, so many other delicious dishes are Chinese, to the honorifics we use to address our elders, mano po, and all those other beautiful traditions. given the very valuable role the Chinese have played and continue to play in Philippine development. One of the other things I signed was not only the proclamation on Philippine-Chinese friendship, but also Republic Act 9139, which helps other nationalities as well, the Administrative Naturalization Law in 2001, to ease up the naturalization process for native-born Chinese or other native-born aliens for that matter. I wish more Chinoys would use the law. And if you have some problems with the rules and regulations, please let us know so we can ease them, because we want our Filipino-Chinese friends living in the Philippines to be Filipino citizens. Today, our centuries-old relationship takes on greater significance as China's breathtaking economic success earns the admiration and respect of the world community, especially in the midst of the global slowdown. There are many countries that we are looking forward to lead us towards recovery. And among the many countries being mentioned as the ones who will lead us out of the global economic crisis, the one that is best truly fulfilling that promise is not other than the economy of the People's Republic of China. In China, manufacturing is stabilizing,